Hello and welcome to the 250th episode of Never Seen It. My name is Trent. I'm sitting here with my wife, Betsy.
I've been here the whole time.
250 episodes. Betsy, it's been a long ride.
It has.
And we're going to continue on with this journey with the traditional thing that you do every 50 episodes on this podcast that we just decided one day.
Yeah, it didn't start this way, and yet here we are.
Here we are. We're going to be watching the latest and final movie in the View Askew universe, written and directed by the one and only Kevin Smith. Betsy, we're watching Clerks III.
We sure are, Trent.
This movie came out last year, so we are all the way caught up.
And it's like over a decade in between every Clerks movie, so if there is another one, it's gonna be a hot minute.
It's gonna be a while. Now, obviously, we have covered all of the other View Askew universe movies that we had not seen. Like, we had already seen, like, Jay and Bob Strike Back and Dogma. I think that might have been it. We covered all of the other ones because you hadn't seen Clerks or Clerks 2.
Or Mallrats or Chasing Amy.
Neither of us had seen Mallrats. You didn't see Chasing Amy. So, yeah, we're completely caught up here. So, Clerks 3. I kind of know the gist of what this is going to be, but what do you know?
So, it's been a minute since this came out. It came out last year.
Yeah.
But if I'm remembering correctly, because I've only seen Clerks 2 the one time for this show.
Yep.
So in that one, the quick stop burned to the ground.
The first scene is the quick stop on fire.
So Randall and Dante had to go and get a job at the cow place. Movie. And in that environment, we meet up with Rosario Dawson, and Dante and her character like fall in love, and they're expecting a baby. And that's kind of where we left this one.
By the end of it, she is pregnant, and they're together, but Randall and Dante get it in their head that, you know what? We've got this money saved up. Let's go and buy the quick stop that burned down and reopen it and have it be our thing.
So I'm assuming that where this one will pick up is there's a baby. Rosario Dawson, I think, is in this, ? They are now running the quick stop together, and Randall has a heart attack or a near-death experience, which again, we're starting to get into this really meta place because Kevin Smith very famously had a massive heart attack and almost died.
He had one of those that they call the Widowmaker heart attack, where it's like 95% of the people who have one die.
And he survived.
Yeah.
So he's bringing a little bit of that into the Clerks world.
Which is what Kevin Smith has been doing his entire career. Like the first Clerks movie, these two characters, Dante and Randall, are an amalgamation of himself.
Yeah.
So all of the things that he's going through, that's what he puts on screen.
So that's where it's going to start, I'm guessing.
Yep.
And then Randall decides to take his love of movies and he uses his personal experience to make a movie about themselves.
Yeah.
So it's basically the making of Clerks within the Clerks universe.
This is going to be the most meta movie I think we've ever seen, because all of it is going to be referencing itself.
Well, and there's a documentary, like a real documentary.
Yes, there is.
About Kevin Smith making Clerks, where it's kind of mixing real footage and reenactment footage, and now they're basically turning that into the View Askew universe. So this is gonna be wild. That's what I expect.
Yeah, and again, I fully believe that there is going to be a whole lot of just references and nods to the audience, because the people who love these movies are die-hard fans.
Yes.
I wouldn't call myself as one of those. I know a lot about these movies. I've seen them a lot. And I imagine we're probably going to get a lot of extra cameos. Maybe even like the entirety of the first cast of the first movie is going to show up somehow. I don't know. Because there have been, like, the two ladies haven't shown up in anything else.
No, but they might reference their existence because of this.
Who knows? The one thing I know here, outside of the movie itself, is when we covered the Jay and Bob reboot, that was actually supposed to come after Clerks 3.
Oh.
And the reason why they did reboot first was because Kevin Smith and the guy who plays Randall, Jeff Anderson, they were on the outs. They were not getting along. There was a script written for Clerks 3, but Jeff Anderson did not like it, and he did not want to have anything to do with it.
And you kind of can't make Clerks 3 without him.
Exactly. So recently, like when they were doing the reboot kind of tour around the country, they do a lot of like in-person things, and you're gonna get it up when you have to be in front of a lot of people. You can be okay, but in this case, after they had their like meet and greet thing, they got back together and Kevin rewrote the script and Jeff approved it, and here we are.
They figured it out.
So again, the movie itself is going to be whatever. I know it's a short movie. It's probably not going to be... I don't have a lot of expectations going into this one because, the reviews weren't all that great. I think the only people who like the movie are the people who are into these kinds of movies.
Oh, this is fully for the fans. When Kevin Smith is literally doing entire tours, the last 2 movies he's put out, where he was out there with the movie, doing meet and greets, talking about the movie, and it was just like a private little party for whoever wanted to come.
And the reboot was, again, all fan service. They're basically remaking Jane and Bob's Strike Back. This one, again, is going to be referencing all of the other movies. And the only thing that I wish, and maybe we'll cover this at the very end, the only thing I wish is that there was more Dogma, because that is my favorite of his movies. Maybe we can wait until the end to talk about Dogma some more. But first, we're going to go and watch Clerks 3. We'll be right back. And we're back. Clerks 3, Betsy. It's the final one. Definitely the final one. What did you think of that one?
As I'm getting older, and you know this about me, I'm a big soft baby. And he did this to me in Clerks 2, and he did it worse to me in Clerks 3. I was crying through at least 2 large sections of this movie because he did what he originally wanted to do at the end of Clerks, but in a much more devastating way.
Yeah.
He killed Dante.
Dante's dead.
So in the second movie, the whole thing is, you two are best friends, and they are establishing that these are people who are, brothers for life and
lifelong
going through it together.
Friends, yeah.
And this one is just a reiteration of the parallels that they have had. They have always been there. They are best friends with each other. And we start the movie with giving Dante a devastating twist that Rosario Dawson died in 2006. So basically immediately
after Clerks 2, she's pregnant at the end of Clerks 2, very pregnant.
Yeah.
And we find out she was killed by a drunk driver.
And it was her and the baby.
Yes.
And so he's been living with that grief for all of these years.
Yep, continuing on what they set out to do at the end of Clerks 2. Yeah.
And then Randall is the one who, in the trailer, almost dies, but Dante is the one who does. And I'm just like weeping like a little baby over here. It's just like, you son of a bitch, you did this to me again.
Yeah, I think it is a symptom of being our age and being, fairly close to the age of these characters. And, we've had people pass away in our lives and, health problems and all this other shit that is really real. And you have to kind of deal with things like this. You can't just go through your life without really taking care of yourself.
Physically, mentally, emotionally.
Yeah. We mentioned in the intro here that this movie was made for the fans, much like all of the other Kevin Smith movies are. Critics didn't really like it for whatever reason. I haven't read any kind of reviews. But the audience score is like 95%.
This one has like a 60-some% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty standard for a comedy. Like, it's, you either get it and you're here for it, or it's just not for you.
Yeah, and coming from the outside, just looking at it from a technical perspective, the movie isn't great because all it is a remake of the first one.
Oh yeah, there are literal shot-for-shot remakes from the first movie.
Same actors, and one of the things, we'll get more into this, but one of the things that I love the most about this movie, and about Kevin Smith in general, is that he got all of these people who are still living all of these actors who have just little bit parts in the first movie, they bring them back.
They're not actors. They're just people who live in
they're
New
just
Jersey.
people. The people of New Jersey is this movie.
And they're all here with few exceptions.
With very few exceptions. Even all of them, the main people who show up in the first movie as all these bit characters, save for one, who sadly died after the release of the first movie. Mm-hmm. The person who played Caitlin in the first movie, the actress died.
And he gives a dedication to her in the film.
At the end of the movie, in the credits, the dedication is to her.
Because you get everybody in this movie otherwise. His mom is in it. The egg guy is in it.
Right.
The dude with the cat is in it.
The guy who is the construction worker who opines on the Death Star thing in the first movie.
Yep.
He's there.
You also get returning people from the second one. So Elias from the movies, he worked to the grill or whatever he did there.
Yeah.
He's in this one, and he's now a grown-ass man.
Right.
And I was just, okay, where's Rosario Dawson? Because I swear she's in this. Mm-hmm. Literally, it's the shot for shot. He pulls up in a minivan. So I'm like, well, yeah, it would make sense he's driving a minivan because
he's got a kid.
He's got a kid now.
Sure.
And he's got his little boots and he's unlocking the thing and there's gum and it's the shots that we know. And then there's just an in memoriam, like, card on the register with her picture. And she died. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Right.
And then it's like, well, what happened to his kid? And then later when Randall goes to the emergency room, because he's back in a hospital, he has a flashback to bringing her in. And she's very pregnant, bleeding on a stretcher. And you're just realizing blow after blow that it's worse than she died. She died, and so did this kid. So we're talking like within a year, within a few months of the end of Clerks II, that happened and just kind of stunted the rest of his life. So he just goes right back to his comfort zone because that's what he does to cope.
And he even says it, I didn't get to have a third act, which is what this Randall character is going through right now in the third movie. Dante didn't get to have that. He just continues on from Act 2, and there's no ending for him.
Yeah, he says, you almost died, I did die.
Yeah.
You know, that was the end of it for me. I was so close.
You got to have the heart attack and have the idea to make this movie. I've been dead since Clerks 2, essentially. Like, I've just been coasting through whatever life this is, being there with you. My life is with you, and without you, I got nothing.
And that's the cruel irony of it, because then he has a heart attack and he doesn't make it.
Right.
And like Amy Sedaris shows up as the doctor, who consequently has the exact same name as Kevin Smith's real doctor.
Yes.
He made it very simple in naming that character. So she tells him, you know, you've got to take care of your friend. If you have the same kind of ways of living that he does, then you're both at risk.
Right.
And that's the cruel irony, because he makes it and Dante doesn't.
Right, and Dante is more worried about Randall because he just did have the heart attack.
Yeah.
And he's most concerned about his well-being and making sure, I mean, the doctor says, keep him in good spirits, keep him going. Because people who go through a heart attack, you know, they have maybe some survivor's guilt. They have this depression that comes over them that it's really hard to get out of because you were this close to death. Why are you still here?
Oh, and this is clearly, he has improved as a storyteller, because these are all really layered things that you're not really noticing right away. But the doctor is talking to Dante about Dante. Dante completely has survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
He has not moved on from his wife. Like, they got married. He calls her his wife.
Yes.
But they were married for like minutes, days in the grand scope of things.
Yeah, because she was pregnant in Clerks 2.
Yeah.
Not just at the end, she was already pregnant.
And it was a drunk driver, and he says, one drunk driver took that all away from me.
Right.
And he's just lived his life in a haze up until this point. And it's just like, oh, fuck you, Kevin Smith. Why are you telling me at the beginning of the movie and I didn't know that you were telling me? And now I'm sitting here analyzing it going, no. Now I'm getting more sad. And when he gives his speech at the end of the movie where he's letting all of that go, he's done being depressed. He's done letting Randall be an asshole, because Randall is an asshole.
Totally.
I think everybody probably has had a friend like that where they don't really mean to be an asshole. Mm-hmm. They don't realize where the line is.
And again, we talked about it before in all the other episodes and in the intro. These two characters are two sides of the same person, Kevin Smith. We got Dante as the sweet guy who will do anything for you. He is put upon like crazy. But then you also have Randall, who's the asshole who is just judging people from afar and being a loudmouth. That's Kevin Smith.
Yeah, and when Dante finally lets him have it and says, I don't want to relive this because you keep neglecting that I've been here this whole time.
This is my story too.
Your life is my life. That's how this works.
Yeah.
And he just drops to the floor. And, we get this moment of closure where Randall finishes the movie and he gets to see it.
Right.
But then it's like, cut to, he's sitting alone in a movie theater. I'm like, oh no.
Right.
Oh no.
And then Rosario shows up.
Oh no.
Yep.
Yeah. And she's like, well, we haven't watched the end of the movie. Don't you want to see how it ends? He's like, no, I know how it ends.
I trust the director.
I trust the director. And the two of them hold hands and leave. And I'm just a slobbering mess at this point.
Yeah. And I even said, oh my God, he's dead. He's gonna die.
And then when they have the funeral and he uses his own line, you're not even supposed to be here today.
Right.
And I'm just like, you have just completely gutted what was a really funny line that has lasted. You're looking at me right now, tearing up, and I'm tearing up thinking about it. This line that has been really funny for 30 years suddenly has this weight, and a knife just went right in my heart.
Yeah, it's the idea that, you know what, you as a young person should never have to go through this. You should never have to, number one, experience your friend going through this, let alone yourself.
Right.
And sometimes you're just unlucky.
Especially
that 80% that Kevin Smith went through, that could have been him. He could have dropped dead that day.
So to change it to, I'm going to wipe my tears while I hold on a second.
It's true, guys. She's doing it.
So to cut it to something slightly less devastating, let's actually talk about that, because you and I watched Kevin Smith's special where he talks about his experience having a heart attack and the immediacy of what was happening and what he was thinking and what he was feeling. And he completely translated that to this movie.
Yeah.
I remember him talking about the nurse having to shave him. And he's like, I don't want to be naked in front of all these people. And that's what he is concerned about while he's about to die.
I want people to see my little dick.
So when Randall is absolutely like freaking out, like, it'll be fine. Don't go through my groin. Don't make me take off my underwear. I'm thinking about my dick. But he does it. And of course, Justin Long shows up to be the nurse who has to shave him.
Yeah.
And you and I were literally just talking about how if you want someone to show up and play a little weirdo in one scene, Justin Long is your man.
Yeah, he'll say yes to anything.
He is up for whatever nonsense you want.
This is the second movie we've covered where he shows up as a doctor, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I forgot he's a doctor in Idiocracy.
Yep.
Well, he's a nurse, I think, in this one.
Yes, fine.
He's like a prep nurse for surgery.
Yes.
He's only in that one scene. But anyway.
Still.
Anyway, so he is the prep nurse. And the other thing I remember, I think, was the Widowmaker thing. Was the doctor literally talking him through this and told him that at the time?
I don't remember. I think this is just a commentary of, hey, this is what I had. I had this kind of Widowmaker heart attack, and I absolutely should have died, statistically.
Yeah, and it's Amy Sedaris who's just like, all right, I'm a really good doctor, so shut up and let me do my job.
So you're going to keep on talking about all your pop culture references, but for right now, you need to concentrate.
Right, and I'm going to stick this thing in, and we're going to implant a stent.
Right.
And you just tell me when you feel better.
Right.
That's what I need from you in this moment. Shut up about The Mandalorian Season 2.
Which, by the way, of course, Rosario Dawson being a star in The Mandalorian and going to have her own show.
Uh-huh.
Again, him being very grateful for this giant star like Rosario Dawson to come into his bullshit movies.
I probably said this in Clerks II, but now we literally just a couple days ago celebrated the 17th anniversary of Clerks II.
Yeah.
So we are that far removed. Does this woman age?
Right.
What the fuck? How is she still looking as young as she is? She's like, gotta be what, 50? Close to it?
She's at least in her 40s, yeah.
I'm telling you, I don't understand. How are you aging in reverse? Meanwhile, every other guy in this movie, it's like, yeah, they be old now.
Right. Well, talking about age, like, we talked about how Kevin Smith himself went through this, and he had to completely change his diet because if he kept on doing what he was doing, he was going to have another heart attack. And I think the person who has aged the best is probably Kevin Smith himself, because he looks great.
Yeah, he's now a vegan and he
Yeah.
has lost a shitload of weight. And he is just there in the background being Silent Bob, not
Right.
really drawing attention to himself.
Well, there are a couple of moments here where he interjects himself and his opinions, his real life opinions into this movie.
This is where this whole project is so absurdly meta, where it stops
Yeah.
being Silent Bob and it starts being Kevin Smith. Like, they're going to have him be the cinematographer, aka Silent Bob, because
Shooter Bob.
because he and Jay are the only ones who have ever been on a movie set
Twice.
And he's got his little tool and he goes on a rant about this place is terrible, the
colors
are
in
awful.
here are awful, but I really need to capture the emptiness of working in a convenience store and like all of this other artistic bullshit, which in reality, the reason why he shot it in black and white in the first place is because it was the cheapest film that he could afford.
Not that, it's going to be the experience of watching it through a security camera at a convenience store.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Your budget was the budget that he said in the movie, about $25,000.
$27,000.
Yes, excuse me. They had a more accurate thing in there. 27,000, blah, blah, blah.
And they are at the exact location that they really used.
Yep.
My favorite little detail about this is, if you remember, I said in the second one, the convenience store burnt down.
Yep.
And they had to rebuild. And they got to rebuild this in Dante's image, whatever he wanted it to be. And he built it exactly the way it used to be. He could have updated it. It's still a tiny little shithole.
Of course, it is a convenience store. It's not a gas station.
Nope.
Like, they don't even really have a bathroom that is accessible by the customers. They have just the aisles and the refrigerators and the desk. That's it. That's all you really need, though.
I just thought it was funny that he could have done literally anything with it, and what he chose was, let's make it look exactly the same.
Why improve on a good thing?
Well, and the fact that they actually filmed this one in the location again,
Yes.
which they hadn't done in Clerks 2. They only did it in the first one.
Right.
And this time they got to film during the day.
Because, of course, we talked about it in other episodes, and they said it in the movie, the reason why the shutters had to be closed, why they created that contrivance, was because they weren't allowed to shoot during the day. So, if the shutters are closed, you wouldn't know that it's nighttime outside, even though it's actually taking place during the day.
Right, and having it be in black and white helped.
Yes.
Because you couldn't tell the difference.
Exactly.
But it was kind of jarring sometimes when they got to the point where they were filming this movie, and Randall says it's just conversations we've had, and they're rattling them all off. We should talk about that Death Star construction thing, and the thing with this, and the thing with that. Let's put those all in.
Literally just taking scenes from the first Clerks.
And so they are filming it, but it's cutting back and forth from we're doing a shot-for-shot remake in black and white to a reaction shot of them filming in color, and back and forth. And it's like, my brain is having trouble comprehending these cuts.
Well, and because the shots are so perfectly remade, I had a little bit of cognitive dissonance there.
Yeah.
Especially the one with the old woman who goes into the video store, who is complaining to Randall about, I don't know which movie is good. How about this one? Well, that one sucks. This is the same movie that it's the same woman, it is the same composition of the shot, and it's the same lines. God!
And they even just decide, we're just gonna play ourselves. So it's this...
Because of course.
And we'll have Jay and Bob play Jay and Bob.
Right.
It's bizarre. And you could argue, it's meta and it's lazy, but it's not. Like, it's a very intentional choice that Kevin Smith made, because by rehashing all of this, you are that much more invested in what happens to Dante when it happens.
Correct. If they were just seeing it from the background behind the camera, it wouldn't have been as engaging.
Right. And they even throw in, I thought we could use some drama in the third act, so this guy's gonna shoot you dead.
Which is a real thing. We talked about it when we covered the first Clerks. The original ending of Clerks was gonna be Dante was held up at gunpoint and shot at the end of the first Clerks.
And they cut it from this movie within a movie.
Right.
But he still, at the end of it, dies. So it's a way to make you really think about the first one.
Yep.
And when he shows him the movie, it's just straight up footage from Clerks. It's young Brian O'Halloran.
It's just Clerks.
It's just stuff from the first movie.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is how I see you. And I'm just like, tears. And then he dies. And I'm like, more tears. So yeah, by doing it this way, you do find closure. And I think that's what Kevin Smith is trying to accomplish here is let's just really close the book on Clerks.
Yeah.
We're not going to do any more Clerks. Whether they do any in the View Askew universe again, I kind of doubt it. I mean, what more can you say at this point?
Yeah, what more can you do? Like, we were talking about Dogma in the intro, and by far Dogma is my favorite of the View Askew universe movies for a lot of different reasons. It's about subject matter that I'm really interested in, and it was taking a topic that Kevin Smith himself was kind of grappling with his own religion and everything else. That's my favorite one. But you can't make Dogma 2, I don't think. Number one, Linda Fiorentino and Kevin Smith did not get along on that movie. He even says as much in the commentary of Dogma, saying, basically talking shit about her.
She was difficult, to put it nicely.
Yeah, so Dogma 2 is never going to happen. I think Mallrats 2 is the most likely thing to happen, because number one, all those other people are game to do it.
Well, they even have a specific call out to Mallrats in this movie.
Yes.
Because the guy who can't figure out the magic eye is in this reciting lines from Mallrats.
Yes. Well, as long as we're talking about that, let's go through all these fucking cameos, because there is a ton of them when they're doing the audition for the movie.
Well, yeah, on top of the fact that every person from Clerks, like I said with rare exception, is in this 30 years older. Mm-hmm. They also have an audition scene where they're trying to find people to be in the movie, which of course is completely pointless because then they just end up casting themselves.
Right.
So the whole scene is just there for the cameos.
Of course.
Because you know who you need in your movie, Kevin Smith? Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck has to show up somewhere.
We were just talking before we sat down here. Ben Affleck will do whatever Kevin Smith ever asks him to do because he essentially owes Kevin Smith his career. To a point.
To a degree.
Ben Affleck will say it himself. Like, this man, the movies that I made for him put me on the map, and I'm forever grateful to him.
Yeah, I think it gave him enough of a leg up that it got him to where he was, certainly.
Indeed.
But you also have Sarah Michelle Gellar and her husband.
Of course.
Freddie Prinze Jr. as Freddie Prinze Jr.
Who now, all he does is voice work.
Pretty much.
Both of them do, by the way.
Well, and you said in the trivia, this is the first live action movie that Sarah Michelle Gellar has done in over a decade.
Yeah.
She just doesn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Because why would they? They both got a great gig, and they can be home and spend time with their family.
All you need is a soundproof studio in your home, and you can just work from home.
Oh, and I guarantee
For
they
voice
can
work,
do that.
They probably do.
They don't even have to leave. They have it built in.
Indeed.
You also had Melissa Benoist from Supergirl, which again is kind of one of those Kevin Smith comic book.
Yeah.
I get the crossover here.
I don't really know if there's like a personal connection there between those two, but I understand her being Supergirl and then maybe him being kind of a creeper on her. Who knows?
Well, I don't think it's that way. I think it's just
Kevin Smith might say otherwise.
They travel in similar circles. Let's put it that way.
It's true.
They both do the Comic-Con circuits.
It's true. You also had a couple of people from SNL in there, Fred Armisen and Bobby Moynihan.
Yep. Anthony Michael Hall inexplicably is there.
Hall. Yeah, that maybe is the weirdest one.
I don't know what he was doing there, but it's like, okay, maybe he just really likes Kevin Smith movies and this is kind of going to be his last opportunity this universe.
Maybe. I just don't know why he was there, but maybe he was just in the neighborhood.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But it was just sort of a lot of rapid fire. And then there were some people I didn't recognize. You said one of them was Scott Mosier.
Yeah, so one of them was Scott Mosier, the producer on a lot of the other View Askew Universe movies, and usually the editor too. But Kevin Smith edited this movie himself.
And then I recognized a couple of the other people. I think they were comedians, but I don't know their names.
There's a few other comedians in there. I don't really know.
And Kevin Smith's mom.
And his mom.
Whoever wrote this, their mom would be ashamed of them.
Should be ashamed. Yeah. And, in any other movie, in any other thing, you would maybe look at something like that and say, oh, man, what are you doing? You're just being silly by doing that. It's Kevin Smith. Just let him do what he wants.
Have you watched any of his movies? He does silly things because he's a silly man.
Yeah.
But that is why you like him. And if you don't like silly, then you probably won't like Kevin Smith.
And that's the thing. All of these people do this as a favor. I would not expect any of those people got paid a dime to do their little cameos.
Probably not.
No.
Hey, what are you doing? I need you for 15 minutes on Thursday. Come on down.
Yeah.
And that's why it's such a hodgepodge of people. I also appreciate that they throw in, like, there's two of them that say, I actually have theater training. Have you ever
Right.
considered making this a movie musical?
I would watch a Clerks musical.
Don't put it past someone to try to adapt that. That seems like the kind of thing you would see, like, off Broadway.
I mean, it's one location, basically.
It could be done.
The only time they ever leave the Quick Stop is when they go to the funeral. That's it.
And they're on top of the roof, which you could still do. I think it could be done.
Oh, you also have the video store, which you can just swap out the sets easily.
Yeah, Trent, I think you're onto
Betsy,
something.
should we just make a Clerks musical and just spring it on them sometime?
I think we could at least workshop it. We could put a skeleton together.
Yep.
And then,
Get
just
an outline together.
DM Kevin Smith and say, click this link for some samples
Yep.
of our well-written musical.
Our artwork.
Our art.
Yep.
Another sign of the times for when we made this movie is that Jay and Silent Bob have gone legit.
Yep, that's what I wrote down. Jay and Bob have gone legit. They have taken over the RST video, and it's now THC video.
Which, of course, it is still full of videos.
No, they didn't move all that stuff out.
No, all the tapes are still on the shelf. Tapes,
Yeah.
mind you.
Oh, yeah.
And then they use the black snap cases that they always had at video stores.
To hold their product.
To hold their product. And they use it to their advantage, but they still can't get away from how they used to do it. So instead of working in the store, they're
Yes.
standing out in front,
Right.
leaning against the wall like they always have.
Yeah, and they're doing it like surreptitiously, like you would do a drug deal. It's like, hey, I need $100 of this. So, okay, just do this, and then we gotta do
cool.
this. Be cool, man. Be cool, man. It's like, no, you could just do it inside, and I can just hand you the cash. You hand me the product.
It's New Jersey. It's legal,
It's
dude.
legal in New Jersey.
I love that he included that, though, because Jay and Silent Bob do not need to do this anymore.
It's like they do it in the 90s.
Yeah, that's how we
Yeah.
did it in the 90s, son.
Yeah, and then let's just talk about those two idiots for the time that they're in the movie. Again, Jay is just being Jay the entire time.
Yep.
He is like cast in the movie and is overacting his ass off.
Oh, he is over-pronouncing,
Yep.
over-exaggerating everything.
Yeah.
And this is, again, where we're blurring the line, and I would really love to watch this with Kevin Smith's commentary or watch Clerks with his commentary, because I want to know how much of these things really happen. So, like,
Right.
Jay is really self-conscious about dancing. So
Right.
he's trying to do the dancing scene from Clerks.
Yeah, and I wondered if, oh, geez, when they were filming the first Clerks, did they actually have to leave the set and let them dance themselves?
Yeah,
But
I want
then
a
again-
closed set.
But then again, Kevin Smith was probably the only one behind the camera, and in that scene, he's in front of the camera.
But that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
was Jason Mewes actually so embarrassed when he was like 19 or whatever years old when he
Yeah,
made that,
yeah.
that he asked to have the set cleared? Because
I wonder.
I would not put it past him.
I wonder.
There's also the scene where he is trying to deliver a line and he can't say it, and it's the lasagna line from the first one.
Right,
And
right.
finally, Kevin Smith, aka Silent Bob, whichever
Says
one
the
we're
line.
talking about here,
Says the
like,
line.
I'll just fucking do it.
Right.
Is that why that happened? Was Silent Bob supposed to be silent the whole time?
And
but
then it just turned into a thing about his character.
Yeah.
He waits until the opportune moment to say something profound and change the main character's perspectives.
But did it happen by mistake because Jason couldn't get the line right?
Right.
These are the things I would love to pick his brain about. When does a book come out? Like, this man has to have a book at some point in his life. The thing about Kevin Smith is you don't need the book because he just talks about all of this in
Yeah.
multiple platforms, but I still want the book.
Yeah.
It really, really makes me want to watch that Clerks documentary.
I have it.
I think we need to watch
We
that
need to
eventually.
watch that,
We
yeah.
really won't do it for this because it's more
No.
just interesting and it's regurgitating things we've already talked about now twice.
Right. And like, you and I have a different perspective on this because I watched the original Clerks a long, long time ago, probably when I was still in high school, maybe a little bit after. And I've seen that movie, I don't know, a dozen times or more. And it affects me differently than it does you, but you also were in this to a point. Like, you liked Dogma, you saw Jay and Bob Strike Back, and I think those are the only two that you had seen before you and I were together.
Before this podcast,
Yeah.
Those were the only two.
Yeah, and the only other, like, Kevin Smith movie that we had watched outside of the podcast was Jersey Girl, and that's not in this Viewers universe.
Right. It has a lot of similarities, but
does.
it's not technically the same place.
Right. So my question is, now that you've seen all of this all the way through, do you further understand the fandom of the first movie? Because I knew you were not all that into the first one the first time we tried to sit down and watch it, like when we were still dating.
Okay, in my defense, and I brought this up when we did the Clerks episode, you made me watch it at like 9 o'clock on a Friday,
Right.
and I had worked like a 9-10 hour day, and I was tired and grumpy, and I fell asleep halfway through. But I also have now seen all of these movies in just the last 2 years.
Right.
And I think I understand him and what he's trying to accomplish a little bit better than I did. Like, if you had shown me, like, Clerks 2 and Clerks 3 by themselves, like, if we just did Clerks 2 and 3, without the context of anything else, if we did them all in a row, I probably would react differently. But because I've had time to space them out and think about them and see what he's doing in his life and his career, I'm more emotionally invested, which is why I'm a sobbing wreck by the time 3 rolls around.
And because we also got to watch Mallrats and we watched Chasing Amy. Now, Chasing Amy, I think, is one of his more underrated movies because of the serious nature of the stuff that he's talking about. Now, he's doing it in a childish way, but the subject matter is serious.
He's not afraid to tackle more complicated issues. He just has a really different way of doing it, and people kind of miss that, which is why I'm saying, like, in this one even... what he is doing, there is some depth and filmmaking and some similarities that I completely just passed over until I'm like realizing it at the end.
Like, people are going to dismiss him because, these movies that he's doing about, lesbians and about God and the Catholic Church are all surrounded by like dick and fart jokes. That's the joke that he makes when he's talking about his work. But when you look at his entire body of work as a whole, it is a lot more, I don't even know what to call it.
There's more depth of feeling than people give him credit for.
Yeah, that's about the extent of it, I think. Well, I don't want to end this quite yet. We still have some things we want to talk about here. Let's talk about Elias, because so far we haven't really mentioned, let's just call him the third wheel. Of this entire universe. I never realized that they were going to bring Elias back because he was just kind of a side character in the second Clerks movie. He hasn't shown up in any other of the Kevin Smith movies at all.
Nope.
I mean, maybe just to have like the specter of religion enter this movie? Maybe,
because it's a lot of near-death experiences, and that's usually when people start thinking about that stuff.
Exactly.
And he did. Kevin Smith nearly died.
Right, and like, when they introduce Elias again, he is driving himself, but it's in his parents' car.
Because doesn't he live with his parents in that one?
Well, he gets driven to work by his mother, and he kisses her as she drives away.
But now he drives himself.
Now he drives himself with his parents in the car, and the parents drive away. Yeah, he's a 36-year-old virgin who is way into Jesus and was way into Jesus, but now he's also way into like crypto and NFTs.
Yes, and he has, his friend is called Blockchain.
Yes, his silent friend is called Blockchain.
He has a silent Bob called Blockchain.
Yep.
And he is super Christian, and he has the Christian Crypto Club?
The Christian Crypto Club, and he is trying to sell NFTs of the Buddy Christ on kites.
It is so specific.
Yeah.
But it is not out of the realm of what people are doing right now.
Yeah.
That is how odd that whole world is.
Yeah, and again, it is a sign of the times, and in fucking 5 and 10 years, are people even going to get those jokes? I hope not. I hope that fucking crypto and NFTs are completely forgotten about by then.
Let me move on. But yes,
Yes.
he's very Christian, and he gets into a fight with Randall
Right.
about Christianity, and he asks God to smite him, which is exactly the moment he has his heart attack.
He also says something about, talking about movies, saying something about the Bourne nativity. Something like that.
Matt Damon is Jesus born.
Jesus born in the Bourne nativity.
But yeah, he has his heart attack, and because Elias feels personally responsible, he starts praying to Jesus, but then he screams, nothing is happening. Jesus has abandoned all of us at the quick stop.
Oh no, he says more than that. He says, the Lord Holy Ghosted me.
He says all of those things. So he then decides that if Randall lives, that he will dedicate his life to Satan.
He switches
He
sides.
switches sides. And because he's a man of his word and Randall lives, he spends the rest of the movie as a Satanist.
Sure.
And like
why not?
in goth makeup. And it's
Right.
just an excuse to give him a weird look every time he's on screen.
Every time.
Every time.
Every new scene, he's in a different makeup.
He never repeats an outfit.
Same with Blockchain.
So stupid. He just convinces Blockchain that this is the way to be.
Right, and he's basically himself, but now just convert all the Jesus stuff to Satan stuff. And even in like the really serious scenes, like at the hospital when Dante gets brought in, he's like confronting Randall saying, what the fuck are you doing? You're gonna go and finish your movie while your best friend Dante is basically on his deathbed? What are you doing?
I have also been here, and you really are oblivious.
Right.
Like, you did it all yourself. Sure.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Dante did this, and
Mr.
Dante
Dante.
did that. Oh, yes, Mr. Dante. Mr. Dante did this. He got the funding. He called someone who hates his guts.
Yeah, he
and
calls
he put up
Emma
his half of the store.
His ex-fiance, who hates his fucking guts.
Yes.
Who is, of course, Kevin Smith's real wife.
Yep. Justifiably hates him.
Yeah.
And got the money for his movie.
And got the money. Yeah.
That is how willing he is to help his friend out, even when he didn't want to. He's like, how the fuck am I getting stuck with all of this? Why am I the producer? Why do I have to get the funding? Why do I have to do this?
Right.
He did all of the work to make this happen. And it's not until he's about to die that Randall shows any appreciation for him.
Right. And like at that final scene with Dante, he basically says, you know what? Why do you think that you deserve a movie? I went through all of this stuff, and I don't want to have to relive the worst parts of my life. Yeah. It's really heavy, and I think at that moment, it's showing Kevin Smith's evolution as a filmmaker, because he actually went on an entire arc. Instead of the first movie just kind of ending with, a slow pullout with the milkmaid looking at all the stuff, that's how this one ends as well. But you actually had an ending for the arc of one of your best characters.
And Dante, Brian O'Halloran is acting the hell out of that scene. He gave him some really devastating dialogue, and he is giving it everything he has.
And every time Rosario Dawson shows back up, he goes to her grave, and they have this. We'll talk about that in a sec. But they have this conversation at her grave. They have the conversation outside of movies. They have the little moment inside the movie theater. He's still devastated over something that happened like over 10 years ago. And he's never allowed himself to mourn. He's never allowed himself to move on. He just continues and continues and continues to do the same thing that he's been doing for the past 20-some years.
Including when his ex-girlfriend Veronica shows up.
Except there. Yeah, Veronica shows back up being the little feisty one that she always was.
She's like, what the fuck is this fucking shit? No.
Yep.
No.
And of course, they continue to give her shit about being an oral surgeon. Oh, yeah. Oral surgeon.
And they managed to not include, but then they still include the 37 thing.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, don't put that in the movie.
It comes up a couple of times in here, but she even has a bit of her history thrown in. She throws it in his face saying, hey, at least I have a family. And that's a really hurtful thing to say to Dante.
Because she doesn't even think before she opens her mouth.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. These two have gotten so intertwined with their lives. They're like one individual, which is why she says it and then immediately freaks out that she said it. Because, yeah, it's true when it pertains to Randall.
Right.
But Dante almost had it.
Right.
He was almost there.
Yeah, and they have their little moment outside in the van, and she says, my ex-husband doesn't want to do this, and I'm having all these issues with my kids and whatever else.
She's had a life without him.
Yeah, and and then, of course, at the end of the conversation, she basically says, hey, you want to fuck?
And they do!
Or at least Dante got some by the end.
I mean, yeah, there's like a nice full circle moment there, and everybody in the quick stop comes out to watch the van rocket.
And because I brought it up before, we have to talk about the scene of Dante and Becky at her grave, where she's talking like, oh man, there's nothing to do in heaven except have sex.
Yeah.
So he asks her, so have you fucked any kind of celebrities? And she's like, oh yeah, here's all the people. And what did she say? Cleopatra, Miles Davis, George Washington Carver, the inventor of peanut butter.
Yes.
Carl Sagan, the scientist, and Malcolm X. I think I got all of them.
Yeah. It's a big fuck fest in heaven.
Sure.
So do you think there is any reading into this that he's having kind of a near-death experience? Because he doesn't start seeing her, as far as we know, until this point of his life. Does he see her every time he goes to the grave? We don't know because we don't see it. But if he's about to die, maybe that's why he's starting to see her.
Maybe that's the sign. I don't know.
Just saying. That sometimes happens. People start having weird visions and shit, weird dreams, and then they fucking die.
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't really think about it like that.
It would make sense. And from his storytelling, stance,
right,
that's how I'm going to choose to interpret it.
All right.
Because most normal, sane people don't see their dead wife.
No, not like that, and not like having conversations with them,
No.
And reminiscing and asking them questions and getting responses,
and holding hands and walking off into the sunset
together.
together.
that was more, hey, this is the end for him too.
I know, at that last scene, but
yeah. You know what I want to know now? How did the movie do? Because in this movie, he finishes it, he shows it to Dante, but we don't know what happens afterwards.
What did he do with it? Did he release
What did he do with
it?
How did he release it? Did it just get shown in New Jersey? Or just at the local theater? They don't address it.
No.
So,
and there is a little commentary over the credits from Kevin Smith where he says, well, there was kind of an epilogue where he says, this is what happens after this events of this movie.
Basically, what he says is, instead of having this voiceover, which the voice of Smod, not God, Smod, that's his company name. Kevin Smith is going to come on and say, oh, Randall Graves had a long history of making films and working at the Quick Stop, and when at the very end, he's talking to a panel of people, because of course he has to be at a panel.
Of course he does.
That's what Kevin Smith does.
And he's in his 90s.
Somebody asks him, was it all worth it, or was it all terrible? Man, this would have been great if not for the fucking customers. This job would have been great except for the fucking customers. And he says, you know what? It was the customers who made it. That was going to be the original ending of this movie with that voiceover. But instead, he left a song in there about New Jersey.
And this is kind of Kevin Smith talking about it. It's worth it because of the fans. He made these last few movies for the fans.
Yes.
This isn't for everybody. The first ones, when they were all kind of related tangentially, but they're all individual stories, Mallrats and Chasing Amy, all of those things. He was doing a different story each time. Mm-hmm. The only through line was really Jay and Silent Bob.
Pretty much.
But now that he's entered this part of his career, these are very clearly not movies he intended for everybody to see. He would love if everybody would see them, but I think he knows his demographic.
He's doing it for himself, and he's doing it for his fans.
Yes.
And, probably also doing it for, the actors and crew that have been with him for the past, 30 years.
Oh my God. It's, literally been 30 years.
Yeah.
We'll see. I wonder if he'll do a big thing for the Clerks 30th next year.
I wonder.
I think, listen, he has now twice come through a city near us with his most recent movies.
Right.
If he comes through with Clerks, I'm going to just say it now, we should probably go see that.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents.
I'm with you. Well, Betsy, I think that's where we're going to have to leave this one. 250 episodes we've done now.
Heyo!
And that's going to have to be it for the Kevin Smith a-thon, if you want to call it that.
He's got other movies, but,
I don't think they're going to be coming out.
Yeah,
I don't think they're going to be coming out in the next 6 months.
Well, and it would be all the stuff that has nothing to do with this universe.
Yeah, and I just don't think that I have any interest of seeing Tusk or Yoga Hosers or Red. Did he make Red?
Red State.
Red State, that's right.
Yeah.
And that other one with Bruce Willis and
Cop Out.
Cop Out. That's the one.
The notorious Cop Out.
I don't really have any interest in seeing any of those other movies.
Well, he's got 50 more episodes to make a movie.
It's on you, Kevin Smith. Get it together. But I'm sure he's going to make more movies.
I'm sure he will, in some way, shape, or form. He loves doing it. At this point, he's going to do what he wants. He's afforded that luxury.
Right, but these past 2 movies were kind of the culmination of all of the things that he's been really working on. Mm-hmm. I mean, other than like maybe making another Jersey Girl or something to that effect, that was more a time and the place kind of thing for him, because he was kind of a new father and he was going through things with his family and other personal things. I don't think he would do another thing like that. I just don't think they're going to do another Dogma. I think Mallrats 2 is the next thing. It's gotta be.
We'll see.
Because malls are dead. I'm sure he's going to have something to talk about there.
Some commentary about the collapse of mall culture.
But then again, he also kind of already did that in the last Jay and Bob movie, because they go to the mall and see Jason Lee there because the real estate is cheap.
Right?
I don't know. But enough of me talking. We want to hear from you. What do you think about the Kevin Smith View Askew universe? I don't care which one you want to email us about the entire thing. What's your favorite Kevin Smith movie? Email us, neverseenitpod@gmail.com. We got an email here from our favorite emailer, our superfan Stephanie, of course, emailed us about 3 different movies in one email.
Heyo!
Because she's been kind of busy, apparently.
She was catching up.
Yeah. She says, I have been on vacation, and now that I'm back, I'm catching up on some podcasts.
Like I said.
Yeah. Of course, this is right before we are going to go on vacation as well, so maybe some emails will pile up while we're gone. The 3 movies that she's writing in about are Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Ant-Man Quantumania, and Copland.
A variety of films.
Of course. She says, Crystal Skull is my least favorite Indiana Jones movie. Big surprise. Actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf is in this one.
You should look up that video.
Yeah.
Just Google Actual Cannibal.
Just Google
Shia
Cannibal
LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf. You'll get it.
It's a song. It's beautiful.
I agree with Betsy in that all of the Indiana Jones movies are nonsense, so the alien stuff is just different nonsense. It does seem like inconsistent nonsense, though. Not enough practical effects, not enough heart, not enough fun. I don't mind Karen Allen returning, but I don't need there to be a son. Mutt is a very stupid name.
Indeed.
This movie does not ruin Indiana Jones. Overall, I am still looking forward to seeing the new one. Yeah, it doesn't ruin it. It doesn't completely take it out of it, because, I mean, by the end of the newest one, they're still on their bullshit.
Right. It doesn't really add anything to the story. It gives a couple elements that they then address in the final one.
Yeah.
But you could almost pretend it didn't happen at all.
You really can, because it doesn't, there's no consequences to it. But then again, there's not really any consequences from the other 3 movies either.
Nah, like we keep saying, the whole thing about Indiana Jones is he could just not be involved.
Right.
And what happens would still happen.
It's status quo. At the end of every one of these movies, it's status quo.
Yeah, so Stephanie, I hope that by now you have seen Dial of Destiny, because now we want to know what you think about that.
Indeed. Back to the email, new movie, Quantumania was fine. Not horrible. Things happen. Kang is interesting. Scott is charming, but kind of one note. Bill Murray is here. Yeah, that's kind of what our feelings were too.
That's the long and short summary of Ant-Man Quantumania.
Speaking of, MODOK is a thing, and I don't fully get it.
Neither do I.
I don't think MODOK is a thing you really need to get.
I don't want to.
But MODOK is so weird. That's the thing, though. I want Marvel to be weird again. back to the email. Cassie is annoying, but it is never too late to not be a dick. Yeah, it's a good saying. Good life motto.
Don't be a dick. It's never too late.
Never too late. Visually, it is pretty cool. I did get Ralph Breaks the Internet vibes during the Probability Storm.
Thank you.
Yep. I did love the Baskin-Robbins Scott being in there. The best part was watching this movie on our cruise.
That's an interesting place to watch it.
Okay. Is that one of those where you can just do they have a bunch of pay-per-view things, or do they have a theater? I'm sure there's a theater.
Maybe a little bit of both. It kind of depends on the cruise.
I guess. Is it a Disney cruise? Because if it's a Disney cruise, then hey, they own that shit.
No, I don't want to be on a Disney cruise. No.
I don't want to be on any cruise.
You don't do boats. You don't do water.
I don't do water.
It doesn't matter that they don't usually go out very far.
It's true. She says, my dad took me to see Copland when it first came out. What a weird thing for that to happen when you are that age.
Yeah, and she's younger than us.
She's younger than us.
So that's very young to see Copland.
And that's a very rated R movie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. She says, definitely not a kid's movie.
As I said.
But I do think I liked it. Now I want to rewatch it. Yeah, do it. It was really good.
If that is the only time you've seen it, then I would definitely recommend seeing it again.
Refresh.
Because your experience will have changed.
On our vacation, I watched Cocaine Bear. I need to hear about Cocaine Bear.
We haven't watched it yet, but it's coming one day.
Bodies, Bodies, Bodies is another one, and Scream 6. I liked them all. Missed you bunches from superfan Stephanie.
Yeah, we are woefully behind in the Scream franchise because you've only ever seen the one once.
Just one.
So maybe someday we'll do more of those, but...
Maybe in, let's say a couple of months.
Maybe not. We'll see.
Not. I don't know.
We haven't decided what we're doing in Halloween.
Yeah, we haven't really decided what the hell we're going to do after August, really.
Yeah, we have our series coming up, so why don't you tell everybody about it?
Speaking of, we are done with the month of July. Hot and long and just terrible. Betsy, when this episode comes out, we will actually be on vacation.
We will.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hot.
In real time, yeah, it's going to be really hot. In real time, we are on vacation this week, but we will be back. We're not going to miss an episode. This Wednesday, August 2nd, we are relaunching our series that we started last year. It is our Decade series. This time, we're going back to 1963, 73, 83, 93, 03, 2013, and 2023, and watching one movie from every single decade.
So that's 7 movies?
7 movies.
Oh my!
And Betsy, it might even be 8.
What? I don't know
That's
what you're talking
secret.
about.
Shh.
You'll have to tune in to figure out what he means.
You'll have to tune in and listen to all those episodes to figure out what the hell we're going to do. Betsy's going to be putting out some teasers to see if you can figure out which movies there are going to be.
I don't know what you're talking about, Trent.
Yeah.
I don't do anything like that.
Yep,
I just tell the people the truth.
Nope, she's going to be doing it because I'm putting it out in the universe, so she has to do it.
Damn it. Fine then.
But yes, it was a crowd favorite last year when we did it. We're doing one movie from every year that ends in 3 over the past 60 years.
So a lot of anniversaries.
So a lot of anniversaries coming up of some bigger movies that I haven't seen and both of us haven't seen. So look forward to that coming next episode. But until then, you can support the show. Click that link in the podcast description to go to the page on Spotify where you can throw us $1 on there and help support this show. And us. Not just the show, it's us.
We are the show.
Yeah.
We are one and the same, like Dante and Randall.
Wouldn't be a show without us, Betsy. You can also follow us on social media. Twitter is still a thing. Facebook is still out there. And Instagram is still going hard.
At the time of this recording.
At the time of this recording. Who the fuck knows what's going to happen next? But follow us on there. Send us messages. Send us comments. Share us with your friends. All that stuff. We're still asking you to go on Spotify as well. Follow us over there. Play some episodes. You don't have to switch your platform of choice. But while you're doing all this stuff, make sure to rate us 5 stars on those platforms. But that is it for now. 250 episodes in the can, Betsy. Let's go on vacation.
Let's do it.
Finally. Until next time, my name is Trent.
My name is Betsy.
And we'll be back to you with another episode of Never Seen It.
Snoochie Boochie.